Well, we're in Kennebunkport, Maine. We're going to go through the middle of Kennebunkport. We're going to come back through this way. I just wanted to show you, well, there's a little bit of traffic. You can see some of the nice shops. My wife's favorite shops coming up, mainly Drizzle. If you like olive oil and vinegars and dipping bread and stuff, the place is amazing, and they have a tasting room. That's my favorite part. You can almost eat lunch for free. We're going to be in an intersection of Route 9. Route 9 will take you all the way back out to Wells, all the way out to Route 1, and then back to 95 and home. We're going to take a left up here, go over a small little bridge, which I hope we can see on the way back, and we'll see the Spirit of Massachusetts, and we'll see the place that has, well, I think it's the greatest robbery of all time. Happens there virtually every day. You pay good money and you get robbed, and we'll see that in just a minute. Now, these people will not. We're coming up to that bridge I told you about, and this brings you right into Kennebunkport itself. We'll get a better view on the way back. We'll get the outward side. But I wanted to get the right side to show you how nice and calm it is, but you really need something small. This bridge does not open. A lot of nice shops if you like shopping. They have, in the winter, they have a celebration every Christmas, and they have a lot of shops open. A lot of people have their homemade stuff, if you like homemade wares and so forth. The Prelude celebration before Christmas, all these shops, great discounts. It's really decorated Christmassy, so if you have a chance to come up here for the Prelude celebration, I will recommend it. So I'm bringing you sort of around the outskirts of Kennebunkport, the outer edge. There'll be a series of 3 different beaches that we'll come to. We went to lunch first. Not that I wanted to go to lunch first. They twisted my arm. But the reason we went to lunch is because now it's high tide. You can get a really good view of the beaches. I noticed from the lifeguard chairs, the green flags are flying. Water's clear, no red tide, and above all, no sharks. Just found out today that up in, even as far as Newfoundland, they've actually found some white sharks. A 15-footer was found today. There we go. One of the first beaches we'll come upon. If you look across the street, you can get a good view of the homes that are around here. Some great views. Swing back out, take a look at the ocean. You can see some sailboats out there. It's a perfect day for it. No swells, virtually no swells. 1.5 foot seas maybe. Sun's out. It's only 80 degrees here on the coast. We were in the middle of Kennebunkport and it was probably close to 90. See some jet skis out there. Kind of always joke with my wife. She was born in Maine, way up in Maine, up in Ellsworth. And I always ask everybody, you know what they really call people from Maine? I said, my wife's one of them especially. They go, no, what are people from Maine called? And I said, they're all maniacs. And that's a good definition of my wife at times. See off in the distance there's some hotels. The furthest hotel you see way over is the Colony Hotel. It's a white hotel on the last point. That'll be the last beach I think we come up to, the Colony Beach. That is not open this year. The restaurant part of it is open, but they are not opening the hotel portion. And that is probably one of the most expensive hotels in the Kennebunkport area, and they are not opening. A lot of these beaches you see to our right, they don't have sand. They're mostly rock, so you got to wear shoes as you go into the water. Very few sandy beaches up here, and the water up here is usually pretty cold. So you don't really see too many people in there swimming that much. Some daring kids, maybe. Like I say, today is a pretty calm day. If you see out, they're actually out, even out in kayaks. You don't see that out in the ocean too often. It's a really beautiful day just to hang out and jump in your kayak. Now we're going to come to a beach that's more sandy, and you'll notice a difference. A lot less parking spots and a lot more people. You can see the colony off in the distance. A lot of people hang out here just because it's a nice, soft, sandy beach. Still very cold water. The water didn't change, but I guess on a 90-degree day, cold water actually works in your favor. A lot of these places that you see to our left are actually rentals, but not weekends. They usually rent out for the entire summer. Some of them might be up to 2 weeks. That Colony Hotel that you see off in the distance, it's kind of interesting. When you come up here for 4th of July in Maine, we won't be able to see it, but off in the distance, if you're sitting at the Colony and you're looking out over the ocean, you can see all the different fireworks displays that are going off and all the towns along the coastal shore. And it's kind of amazing because no matter where you look, there's fireworks going off. Well, we're pulling out of the beach area. We're going to be heading back into the residential area, Kennebunkport. When we swing in, I'll try to show you the Spirit. I'll show you where the greatest robbery I feel happens. We'll swing back by another beach, come out by the Bush Estate. I believe the Bushes are here for the rest of the summer, and we'll actually see a beautiful chapel looking out over the ocean that holds outside services first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go back into Kennebunkport itself, right in the middle of the big city. Wanted to show you the other side of the road. Some nice hotels you can stay at. Everything is in walking distance down here, so any of these hotels you want to stay at will be great. And you can walk right down to the middle of the town. Plenty of restaurants, none better than the other. They all have to be good. They're in competition with each other. Some of the art stuff that goes on here, these wind chimes, pretty nice. The gallery, all brass wind chimes you can put outside. Now that bridge that you see we're coming up on, that's the bridge we went over earlier. Off to the right you'll see a schooner. The Spirit of Massachusetts. Looks like an old wooden schooner. Well, in actuality, it was built in 1984, right in Charlestown, Massachusetts. It was built, when it was launched, there were 80 tall ships that came to mark the launching of the Spirit of Massachusetts, and then it went on a goodwill tour around the entire world. It retired for the longest time. It was going to be scrapped, and then in 2014 it was completely rebuilt and turned into this floating restaurant. You'll see off to our right. Oh, that white building, that's where the robbery happened. There's the Spirit of Massachusetts. That robbery that I was telling you about, you go in there, you pay a fortune for seafood, you turn your back, and then the seagulls come down and they rob you. They steal everything right off your plate. To me, that's the greatest robbery that could happen. You can see all the small shops here, all within walking distance, as I said. When you come here for that winter celebration I told you about, this whole area is closed down, pedestrians only, and they have a giant 50-foot Christmas tree right in here, and the local high school comes down and they start singing all different type of carols, eggnog, hot cocoa, all that stuff that you think about when you think about the Christmas time of year. So I'm going to swing down here. We're going to be heading towards what we saw from a distance, which was the Colony Beach. Like I said, it's not open, and then after the Colony we'll be swinging by the Bush Estate. So you're going to be able to see the channel coming into Kennebunkport. That's the yacht club. We came here a few years ago when there was a yacht pulled up that had a giant helicopter on the rear deck. Here's a good view coming up. There we go. So a lot of these places you're going to see here not open because of what's going on. A lot of these boats are also for tours. And we're getting to the end of the channel, so this is where you're going to see a lot of speed start being built up so they can make it through the rough chop to get out into the open ocean. A lot of these shops, like this Dana shop we're coming up on, they open up in the around Christmas, and they've always offered outside seating. They have free wine tasting, cheese. If you want to just walk around, all these restaurants do something similar. It's a little cold, but it's a lot of fun. Breakwater Inn on our right across the street from the Colony. And as we come a little further, they have a great view of the breakwater. It literally means where the water is breaking from the bay into the open ocean. And you'll see that on our right. See a lobster boat coming in right now. He's full steam ahead. And when he hits that last marker at the edge of that rock jetty, it's headway speed only, which is 10 miles an hour, no wake zone. So we're going to pan back and forth, and I'm going to be quiet for a minute so you can see some of these beautiful homes. The church that I mentioned earlier, St. Anne's, is not open. I thought we'd be able to get through the gate, but we can't. The services are actually held on beautiful days outside. And this is all the presidents that visit Kennebunkport usually come to St. Anne's. You can see it right there, the old church. Beautiful historic church. Coming back out again, there'll be some more homes with some great views, the ocean. When you think of Maine, this is what you think of, these old-time Giant homes overlooking the ocean. You can see them off the point in front of us. So off in the distance, I don't know if you can hear me, we're going to come across the Bush estate here pretty soon, and you'll see it off to the distance. Lo and behold, there it is. Out front they have a small little, you can see all the other houses. That was the original house out on the point, and then George and Jeb and all the Bushes get their own little house. I say little house, they're all beautiful. And usually when they're in town, you'll see the Secret Service. Yep, there they are. There's all the black Suburbans. So one of the Bushes most likely is there. And you can see Secret Service vehicles. See if we can pull over here to get a better view. Yep, and you can see the Bush estate off to the right, way out looking over. And then you can see the inflatable, that's for the police, the Secret Service. So you can see a little close up here. Near the end you will see the guard shack, all the cameras, TVs, so forth in there, but you have to get through that before you can get even in the state. And then you can see all of the CIA Suburbans. So the president is in the house. Let's take off and go see two things, a clock face and a porpoise. Stay tuned. Start now. If you look off to your right, you'll coming up to Cape Porpoise. That's what I meant by porpoise. There's a restaurant at the end of the point that takes its catch right off of fishing and the lobster boats that use this little bay here. See if we can get out and see if there's any lobster boats coming in. Alrighty, here we are at the end, Cape Porpoise. They're pretty full. I don't know if they're going to let us in, but right in front, that gray building is actually the lobster shack that they dump out. You can see a few lobstermen that just came in now around that pickup truck. They unloaded their lobsters directly in there, and then they're sold right out of the building, right to market. And that's a great place to eat, the Chowder House, all outside right now. And it comes right from the lobstermen themselves. You can see the lobster fleet out there as we make the circle. Traps. Here's a boat, there's a truck coming up. It just picked up the load. Cape Porpoise. So you'll see there's a historic farm stead, and it's right here at the corner of Main Street and Route 9. It's at Goose Rocks Road here in Kennebunkport. It dates back to the 1770, and it's a local landmark for its 20th century purpose-built clock tower. It's on top of the barn at one end of the complex. You can see and it's listed actually on the National Register of Historic Places. So we're going to be wrapping up our Kennebunkport tour. I just thought we'd see here at the outskirts. I always like this building. I always called it the Clock Face Farmhouse. So we'll be wrapping up, and you can see also on the back of the farm they have that old Widow's Walk. That's common to a lot of the homes in Kennebunkport. The captains' wives would walk up there and look out over the sea, looking for their, waiting for their men to return from whaling or whatever they were out there doing on the ships. And they would walk up there and walk around, constantly looking out over the ocean, waiting for their ships to return. The Widow's Walk. Well, that does it. That about does it for Kennebunkport. Stay tuned for the next virtual vacation.